this long, which we got from here. So if you're joining my streams from past couple of weeks, you will understand for me the main short area is 96k. And there are a couple of reasoning just to refresh on our memory. What are the reasoning to short from 90k, and that's why do I say this is a very major level. First of all, of course, we are looking at this daily FEG around somewhere 96k. If you are an ICT trader, if you're not an ICT trader, moreover a volume trader, you can see there is an anchored VWAP aligning with the um, 96k level as well. So basically, an anchored VWAP is like an SMA and EMA, but it is not like it is not some random calculations, but it is rather an actual volume. So yeah, now there is an anchored VWAP, and this is not some normal anchored VWAP. By the way, if you are thinking this anchored VWAP, sorry guys, you guys can share, see my screen, right? um y- y- you can see my screen, okay? Yeah, so if you see this anchored VWAP, this is not some normal anchored VWAP. This is coming from this high. And if you ask me what is so important about this high, everything about this high is important. Like this was the major high which caused this entire bearish price action, and we have never seen a higher high, or after this high, we didn't saw any break of structure. We only saw downside and downside. And if you ask me, what I'm expecting is more downside, unless we see a flip of 96k level, and then we do a break of a structure of 107k level. I would not get bullish on the Bitcoin. So that's that. Sorry, so the season is changing, so I would not get bullish at all. So as I, the daily FEG and the anchored VWAP and the 0.62 level. And now this is a really important level, the 0.62 level. This is basically a golden period. It is moreover a 0.618 level. If you even Google what's so special about 0.618, I don't know if you can see my screen. Yeah, it is a golden ratio 0.618, and it is used in nature as well. So yeah, you can see if you go on the Google and just search about the 0.618, you will find that it is used in nature a lot other than the trading. This flowers and everything, of course, you would need to do a research, but this is a really this is not some random number. And of course, yeah. So 0.618 number, and not just, of course, keep this thing in mind. Anything above the point 50 level is basically, let me draw it from low to the high so it's easier for you to understand. So anything below the point 50 level is discount, and anything above the point 50 level is premium level. So if you want a short, you will look to short from, sorry, you will look to short from here. So let's see, you will look to short from here. And if you want a long, you will look to long from something like this, from 0.62 705. And same for the short. Let's say if we are drawing from the high to the low, um yeah, to the low, then of course our 0.62705 and 0.79 level will come above. Let me draw it in front of you as well. If I draw it from there to there, you will see now this is our discount area for the shorts. Do you understand me? This is now your discount area for the shorts, and this 0.62 level is the highest priority level. At least in my strategy, this is the highest priority level for me, where I expect a price to reject from. So anchored VWAP, the FVG, and the 0.62 level. For me, these are really great things. And if you are a support and resistance trader, you can see there is this support as well around the 0.705 level. I think there was a confluence as well. Yeah, I think this. Yeah, you can see we have a support, not exactly the very major support, but you can see it is something, as we have like rejected here before and bounced from here before. So you can see this, there is a support and resistance as well. Not a major support, I understand, but I'm just giving you an idea how major the 96k and 98k level is. And by the way, we developed that plan live on the live stream. So I hope you are joining my streams from a really long time, because That's what I do. I come on the stream, we develop a plan together, and then we act upon it. So that's the BTC plan. If you ask me what is my short area, it's pretty simple. It's 96K. My stops will probably go above this, but we will see. When the price will come here. Let's say the price does this. If the price comes here, then my thing will be on a lower time frame. I want to something like this, a break of structure. And when I will see this break of structure on a lower time frame, then I will look to entry on a retracement of that structure break and the FVG and whatever. I can explain what I'm talking about on a lower time frame, but it can get a bit complex for you. So let's take things step by step. Every stream we will learn something, so we can study and learn together. So now that's one of the reasons. And I believe there was an volume profile as well from here. Yes, you can see, if we draw a volume profile from the current market price to this price action, you will see that we have an value area high aligning beautifully with our other confluences which are anchored VWAP, daily FVG. And if that's not enough for you, we also have cluster of liquidity around this level. So let's say even if we ignore everything, FVG, anchored VWAP, and the value area high, if we ignore everything, even if we just focus on the liquidity, you will see there is huge liquidity of this is a liquidity cluster. So ideally market makers would want to go up, sweep all that liquidity, sweep this high, and then we go um, lower from there. So that's another reasoning. If you're not an ICT SMC trader, I'm not an ICT and SMC trader, by the way. I use multiple concepts, and I have my own strategy. So yeah, even if you just use liquidity, there is a confluence for you as well. So that's what I'm saying. 96K is a really really major level. I would definitely be keeping an eye on that level once we get it. And of course, I'm not just gonna short blindly. I'm not gonna place the limit. If there is a reaction, as I said, if there is a reaction, something like this, then I will make an entry on the retracement, and we will basically go lower from there. Give me a second. So yeah, any questions about this? By the way, would love to answer, because my strategy sometimes it can get overwhelming. Uh, yeah, sorry. Sometimes it can get overwhelming for people who are new to the stream. So that's why I will advise that just constantly join my streams, and we'll get there. So yeah, now as I said, our shorting area is 96K, 97K. This is pretty crystal and clear. Now you will ask me what is the long area. If you want me to be really honest with you, this was a pretty great long. And if you didn't caught this long with me or with the wave, then I'm gonna say just wait for the sidelines, just wait for the 96K level to look for shorts. Keep in mind, when I keep attention to my words. When I say look for shorts, I clearly mean wait for the reaction. Wait for the reaction. If there is a reaction, then take a trade. Don't place the limit. Limits are not the greatest thing you can do. So this is ideally my plan is, and I'm gonna stick to this plan. I'm not changing anything to my plan now for the longs. For the longs, let's get to the longs. Okay, I will share some sort of my theory, but honestly, I'm not really a fan of the long. We have this inverse FVG coming in here. I'm not a fan of inverse FVG, honestly, but you can see we have this inverse FVG coming in here and the anchored VWAP. Let me just log this so it's easier for you guys. So, in inverse FVG and the anchored VWAP. So you can see, let me just hide this, okay? Yeah. Yeah. So inverse FVG and anchored VWAP, if I draw the Fibonacci, I'm developing this plan live in front of you. So yeah, you see now this can be a good area to look for longs. If there is a reaction from here, ideally we can run higher. And you can see there is a 4 hour level as well. And I believe I marked that level for a really strong reason. Let me check if there is. Yeah, you can see this is a major level because there have been a lot of rejections. One, two, three, and of course a lot of bounces. So this is a major level for sure. We flipped it and then we retraced and went higher. So yeah, the levels matters a lot. So you should go on the previous price action and just look for the levels. So you can see it's pretty good. We have an end of an FVG here. aligning with the 0.62 level, and we have an anchored VWAP. So we got ourselves three good confluences. So I would say if price rejects from here, price does something like this, I won't mind. I won't mind. Okay, but we'll see. I'm not gonna long here, by the way. I'm not gonna long here. Even if I get this opportunity, even if there is a reaction, there is very high chances that I'm not just gonna long from here, because I am already in a great long from the lows, and I just don't believe this is a really great confluence to look for long froms. But if you are not in a long, and if you want to hurry to be in a long, then you can look to long. But for me, I'm already in a long. I'm doing great profits. I did great profits on the Ethereum and the Bitcoin, so I don't need to be aggressive with the longs. Do you get my point? This is all risk management. If I was not in the long here, then I would definitely be looking to long here, because then I would be in the sideline. So you get my point. This is all about risk management and your psychology. If you miss that long, then of course our next your next POE should be right here. But if you didn't miss that long, just stay in the sidelines. You don't need to worry about anything. We will look to short from 96K. But yeah, you can of course tag me in the chat. If we come here, I will be there to guide you. Is there a reaction? What should be our stop loss, etc.? But ideally, there should be a quick bounce from this area. Sorry, from this area, there should not be something like this and then bounce. No, there should be a just quick bounce. We tap. Ideally, we do a wick and then we run higher, or a V-shaped recovery. So yeah, and your stop loss will go below the 4 hour level, which I have, which is around 87 200. Now let me check just little couple of confluences in here. Give me, yeah, you can see the 4 hour level aligning with the previous week value area low, and the previous month value area low. So there are some confluences around this level. This level is not entirely a trash level. So yeah, this would be my next plan for the longs, if we get it, by the way. Keep this in mind. You can save these charts if you want. Yeah, anyways, now other than that, I'm not seeing something really important on the Bitcoin chart. Now, do you want me to go over why I took this? And it is a really interesting thing, because you can learn a lot about my strategy if you want. If you don't want, I'm not just gonna rant about it. I will just go on the Ethereum chart. I will do the Ethereum market update, and then Solana, and then we will chart your altcoins, and then we will end the stream. So you can let me know if you want me to go and explain why I took this long on the Ethereum. So basically, it was the same reasoning to take the long on the Bitcoin and the Ethereum and the Solana. I shared the Solana on my X. So yeah, you can let me know if you want. If there is an interest, I can go over it. But overall, right now, I don't see it. Let me just place the alert here. Placing the alert, just in case if we get it, we'll see. I'm not desperate to long from there, by the way. But if we get it, we will see. Sure. Let's do it. It's gonna be a real quick one. So, and this is about the higher time frame, by the way. Let's start with the weekly time frames to clear our mind. What do we see? What do we see here? Okay, now let me go on a different chart so I can explain you more betterly. Now if you go on a weekly time frame, what do we see here? Why, from where we are bouncing from here, right? We are bouncing from here, so there should be a reason. Of course, there is a reason that there was a weekly order block, and I believe there was a golden pocket from this high to this high as well. So yeah, you see, you got, but not exactly. We tapped the golden pocket. If you want, you can use this high as well, then it aligns properly. Well, actually, we can use this high, because this was the start of where we did a breakout, so it makes more sense to use this rather than this. Well, whatever you want to use, you can see that we bounced from the order block, weekly order block, and the golden pocket. So you have a very great higher time frame level. Do you understand? And by the way, and that's another reason for the 96K level. You see, there is a weekly high of the 96K level, and then there is weekly FEG. So yep, 96K is a major level. When I give a level, usually I do heck lot of analysis. I spend hours upon the chart to find a level, and when I am this bullish on this certain about a level, it most likely gets played out. But of course, I'm a human, I can be wrong. But yeah, my win rate with my higher time frame levels is actually pretty good. And 96K is a higher time frame level. But of course, we can flip this and we can run higher. Anything can happen. It's crypto, man. But I'm giving you what I see on the chart and I'm explaining you. If you don't agree, of course you can follow some other analysts. But if you agree, awesome. But of course, if you disagree, I would love to hear your argument. That's what we are here for. So yeah. Anyways, now you can see right now I'm not explaining you a TA, but rather I am explaining the psychology why I took a long hair, and the psychology was that we are bouncing from a weekly order block and the weekly golden pocket. Now this is a major confluence. This is a really really big confluence you have in your pocket, a weekly order block and the weekly golden pocket. So now my thought process is that this is a very first low that is being made after a bounce from a higher time frame confluence. And usually when there is a bounce from a higher time frame confluence, there is a relief rally after it. When such dump happens, when such big dump happens and it goes into the week higher time frame confluence, then usually a good relief rally, something like this comes up, and then we go lower. So now I was expecting a something similar. I was saying, and I did something really simple. I draw Fibonacci from the low to the high, and that's it. I said, "Oh, we are bouncing from a higher time frame confluence." Now that's a psychology game that I'm explaining you. That is, you are not gonna find this on a textbook or something. But here we are bouncing from a higher time frame order block, and not just that, we are actually coming back into the discount. Now, of course, if there is a reaction from their discount, again, I'm gonna show you my short here. Of course, I cannot show you my short. Of course I cannot show you my long because we don't have that long in here. But if you go and see, we actually did not longed it from entirely from the low. I waited for a reaction. So now if I just go back on this chart, you can see I waited for the reaction, and I longed something around here. Why? Because I knew what are my invalidations. If I go here, you can see I knew what are my invalidations. Let's say if someone longed it from this low, let someone longed it from this low, was it a bad long? No, beautiful, it was a good long as well. You got yourself 4 hour. And why this was not a bad long? Because you knew your invalidation zones, they were pretty clear. So let's say if a price does not respect this and it goes lower, then you know we will go lower, and then you can go on a higher time frame, and then you can look for another long which can recover your loss and which can make you profits on the top. See, you get my point? This is about the psychology and the risk management rather than the TA. There is nothing great about this area where I longed from. Do you get my point? There was nothing great about that area where I longed from. There was not a major confluences. It was simple two thoughts. We are bouncing from a higher time frame. Now we are retracing into the discount. Let's say if I long from here, I know my invalidations will be there and my targets will be 96K. So I thought, what could go wrong? If even if I get stopped out, I won't mind. As you know, I can always recover from high RR trades from the lows. So what's the problem going long from here? So when you have a clear invalidation and when you have a high R trade, you should just go for it. You should not always just look for the confluences. Rather, you should look for um the instinct, your guts, and what your psychology and the risk management is saying. And of course, not just that, we were into a short here. We were in a short. So even if we get stopped out on this trade, we will still go lower, and our short target would have hit, and which was 79K. So you see, it's about risk management and it's about psychology. So even if our long, which was a risky long, of course, because we only had one confluences, which was a retracement into the discount and bouncing from there. So even if we had got stopped out, let's say something like this, we our short would have still been printing. You get my point? That's what I'm saying. It was not some great confluence trade. It was nothing interesting. It was pure psychology. It was pure experience, and it was pure risk management. That's what I'm trying to explain here. So 0.705 level, we saw a bounce from there, and when I saw a bounce, a good bounce on a lower time frame, we were shifting structure. If I go on a 5 minute time frame, you can see clearly that we were making we were clearly getting bullish. this was bullish. And then we looked, and I think I longed for here or something around a here, and boom, then we saw a huge rally into a Bitcoin price. Boom. That's what I'm trying to explain you. It was not some TA, but it was rather a pure knowledge, instinct, and psychology and the risk management, because we were in a short from 92K. We were hedging onto the lows, and if we play this long out perfectly, then we caught a beautiful short from the highs. We caught a beautiful long from the lows, and now our next target is 96K. And if that plans plays out, then it's simple. This that's it. That's what I say. Develop your plan. Just spend time on the charts and figure out what's gonna happen next, etc. And aligning with the confluences. Just don't draw the lines. Just don't draw the lines. Oh, that's gonna happen. No, back it with the confluence. If someone asks you, oh, why do you expect that we are gonna go higher from him? Give him a reason. Give him a proper reason. You should have a proper reason for every trade you take. If you don't have a reason, then it's no. Then it's absolutely no point for you to do the trading and etc. So that's it. That was the entire reasoning of the trade. We were retracing into the discount, bouncing from the higher time frame confluences. I said, boom, I know mine. We got a reaction. Boom, I know mine validation. Below this low, targeting 96K. And that shot is still running, by the way. It is not closed. You can see. Um, Where is it? Yeah, sorry. You can see it is still running. I haven't closed it because I am expecting a brown. Even if we do something like this, I don't mind. I don't mind. You can look for longs around this level. You can look to long short from around this level. So if I give you levels, 87K. Sorry, writing in the chat by the way. 87K for the longs, risky, and 96K for the shorts. Wait for trigger, wait for reaction. And if there is a reaction for 96K, no, not a financial advice, sell your house and buy the short the Bitcoin. Not a financial advice, I'm just joking. Okay, don't actually do it. So yeah, anyways, now let's get to the Ethereum. We also got a 8-hour trade on the Ethereum. And if you don't understand how significant the 8-hour is, basically it is a lot. Let's say if you risk $1,000 on your trade, and $1,000 is nothing if you're trading on a Profum account, by the way. Let's say you buy a 100K account, and then you risk $1,000 on your trade. Now you risk $1,000 on that trade. You do 8-hour. That means you did 8% on your portfolio, because you risk 1% on the 100K, which is $1,000. That's $8,000. I don't know how rich you are, but I would never say no to the $8,000 in literally 2 days. Not even the 2 days, 1.5 days. You get my point? So that's it. That was the reasoning. Now Ethereum is something interesting we have here. If you understand what I just said, I will come back to the Ethereum, but I'm gonna explain the reasoning of this, and it's not gonna be a long. Trust me, it's not gonna be long. I don't want to waste more of your time. But if you understood what I just said on the 96K, why I am looking to short from 96K is because we have an FVG and we have a value area high. And if you go on the Solana, you see something similar here, don't you? But there is one difference. On the Bitcoin, we haven't hit that level. We haven't sweep all that liquidity. But on Solana, we have done it. We swept all that. Let me just remove this. On Solana, we swept all that liquidity, including this high, and we tapped into the 4-hour FEG. I guess it was a daily FEG as well. Yep. We, we swept all the liquidity on a daily. We tapped into a daily FEG. We swept all the liquidity. And if I go on a lower time frame, and if I draw a volume profile from this price action, you can see we have a value area low. So what basically our reasoning for the Bitcoin short is same happening on the Solana already. So why would I not look for short on the Solana when we are looking to short on the Bitcoin for exact same reasoning? Sweep of the liquidity, tap of the daily FUG, and the rejection from the value area low. We have all these three confluences on the Solana. Then why the heck would I not short? You get my point. And even if the Solana short does not get played out, we have a tau long running up. Now of course we have a stop loss at the break even, and we can get it stopped out. I know, but you need to understand, I can always look to long again on the tau. Plus the tau is really strong, because You see, it is still green. See my watch list. Only the flux in the Tau is green in the AI narrative. All that is red, red, red. And that was one of the reason I longed Tau, by the way, because when everything was red, Tau was outperforming. We hit our TP, which was around um 1.5 hour. Beautiful for me. So yeah, I hope you get my point. Solana, I have really high hopes from the Solana. I am at least expecting a liquidity sweep of this will be my first TP on the daily level, then next on the FVG, then next on there, and ideally then the next on the low. So let's see what's happened to the Solana, but I'm really, really confident about this trade. But of course, why do I say this is a risky shot? Because Bitcoin is yet to hit it 96k level, and let's say if Bitcoin goes and goes to sweep all of this liquidity, tap into the daily FEG to get more liquidity, then Solana of course will get stopped out, because Bitcoin follows the Solana follows the Bitcoin. So yeah, that's the entire reasoning for the Solana shot, and I'm definitely excited about this shot. Now let's go. And by the way, we also caught the Solana long as well. It was not shared here. I caught it from here on the liquidity sweep of this monthly level. We tapped this monthly level. If I go on a monthly time frame, you can see this is a really important level. Um, One tap, two tap, three tap, four tap, five tap, six tap, seven tap, eight tap, and then we rejected nine tap, 10 tap, and two more 12 taps. So almost 12 times on a monthly time frame we have rejected from this price action. So I was bounced or rejected from this price action. So and we longed it, and I believe I have a long position tool. Nope. But I we longed it from this low. We tapped the monthly low. I can let me see if I can find that trade real quick. Yeah, it was there. Was this, if you see the chat, I have shared that. So yeah, it was pretty simple. It was just a monthly level tap, and for me, when we tap levels like this, I just look too long blindly, by the way. So yeah, and I won't advise you should do that, because when I'm longing, I have other things keeping in my mind as well, such as Bitcoin bounce, such as keeping in mind that Solana just bounced from the higher time frame level, and at that time, keep in mind Solana was very strong, but right now Solana is weak. If you compare, Solana is down like 2% compared to the Ethereum and BNB area. It is a bit bearish. So yeah, that was the reason to long the Solana as well. And of course, we got this Ethereum long. Now for the Ethereum, it was the same reasoning as on the Bitcoin, as on the Solana: sweep of the liquidity, daily FEG, golden pocket, anchored VWAP. But the problem is that we never tap the level which I'm looking at. Of course, we can front run. You can say, always, why don't you just short like this? I'm not gonna short like this. Yeah, I just don't think so. That without sweeping all this liquidity, tapping into the daily FEG, Ethereum should go down. I just don't think so. It should go down. I think it will come up. That's what I think. Even if I miss the shot, I won't mind, but I'm gonna stick to my plan that I made. I'm gonna stick to my system basically. So yeah. Now for the Ethereum, it was the same reasoning as I said. If I draw Fibonacci from the low to the high, you can see we tap the 0.69 level, which is a discount area. And if I go on a higher time frame, you can see we were bouncing from the end of this week FEG. We perfectly filled that weekly FEG completely, and then we were bouncing from there. So it was the same reasoning: higher time frame bounce, retrace into the lows of the discount, and I know my invalidation it will be there, and I will just go higher. I saw a slide of the reaction. I went long blindly, because I knew even if I get stopped out, I can always make back from the lows. But it was a worth it trade, and my risk was managed. My psychology was there, my reasoning was there. And keep in mind, this was not something textbook. You are not gonna learn it from buying a book. These things you learn it by some mentor, or guys like me who do the streams or something, or you learn it by yourself. Ideally, you should learn it by yourself, spend time on the charts, and boom, you will figure it out by yourself. So yeah, that was basically the reasoning for the Solana. For the Ethereum, now for the Solana, I'm not looking to long Solana at all. I think it will go down. I don't think so it is worth longing. For the Ethereum, you can look to long from 3000 level. It is important level. There is a POC as well, and there's an anchored VWAP as well. So ideally, we can do something like this. But of course, it is a risky. long and the short on the Ethereum right now. I will be focusing more on the Bitcoin and see what's Bitcoin is gonna do. And of course, I think we are gonna see. And I think that this long, which I just explained you, uh, all of the reasoning, there was this, all of the bullshit conferences, the discount, and the anchored VWAP from the lows. I think this might get played out. And the reason for that, if you see USDT dominance on a 4-hour time frame, I think it's gonna retest that monthly level. It's gonna retest that monthly level. We are gonna do wick into that 4-hour FEG, and then we are gonna go down and something like this. That's what I expect. That's my reasoning is. So I'm gonna share this anyways. So let's see what happens. But that's my reasoning. And you see, this also aligns with the Fibonacci as well. You can see the end of the FVG aligns with the golden pocket. So I'm not entirely wrong if you say so. But let's see. I'm expecting a bit of rejection on the Bitcoin Ethereum for sure. So I'm really excited about Solana, as I said. So I think that covers everything. I know it can be overwhelming. I know some things might be overwhelming for you, but as you join the more streams, you will start to understand my strategy more and more deeply. And yeah, if you have any questions about my strategy, just tag me in the chat and I would love to cover them. And any feedback about the stream, any feedback about my strategy, how can I make the stream better, is appreciated, yeah. Now, questions are appreciated. If there are no questions, I would just end the stream. Usually I do ask for, if you have any charts for me to analyze, but I'm not going to do that because honestly I don't trade altcoins. So if you want to go and if you want to know what's going to happen with your alts, you should ask the Wave and the Muro. But for me, I'm a more of a higher Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum trader. And if you want to ask anything about them, I would love to answer them. So yeah, cheers guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we are good to close the stream. Yep, seems like we are good to go. Nobody have any question. Would have appreciated the feedback, but yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for joining. See you in the next session. Bye bye.